All right, so number one on the review said 10 plus 3i plus 5 minus 2i. Okay, when you have these guys and they're separated by a plus and not by nothing or like just right up next to each other, literally you just add the two things. Okay, 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5 is 15. All right, 3i minus 2i is 1i. That's the answer, guys. 15 plus I. Okay, very, very simple. It's just adding, pretty much adding kind of like terms. All right, on number 2, you had 5 minus 4i. All right, it was plus 3 plus 6i. All right, so my like terms, 5 plus 3 is 8. Negative 4 plus 6 is positive 2i. That's the answer. Okay. 3. All right, 3 is 7 minus I plus 8 plus 6i. All right, and on this one, like term, 7 plus 8 is 15. Negative I plus 6i is positive 5i. Okay. Positive 5i there. Questions so far? All right, 4 is a subtraction problem. So 3 minus 6i minus 8 minus 10i. All right, the minus right there goes to both. So this is like 3 minus 6i minus 8 plus 10i. When you distribute that negative through, right? Negative goes here, negative goes here. 2 negatives make a positive. So what is that going to leave us with? 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Negative 6 plus 10i is positive 4i. Okay, 5. 2 plus 4i minus 5 plus 7i plus 12i on the end. So again, you're going to distribute that negative through. 2 plus 4i minus 5 minus 7i plus 12i. Okay, combine your like terms. 2 and minus 5 are like terms, so that gives you negative 3. All right, 4i, negative 7i, positive 12i are all like terms. So when you combine those, what do you get? 9i? Okay, that's the answer. So on number 6, so you see how it's got nothing in between. There's no sign in between. That means to multiply. All right, so you're going to do 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. All right, 3 times 3i is plus 9i. Then you're going to take 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10i. 5i times 3i, all right, is 15i squared. Okay? So, add your like terms in the middle. 9i and 10i. 6 plus 19i. All right, 15i squared. I squared is like multiplying by a negative 1. So 15 times negative 1 is negative 15. So what does that give us? 6 and negative 15 combined together is negative 11 plus 19i. Okay, you could have 19i minus 11. Doesn't matter. Either way would work. Okay, 7. 7, we're going to do 2 times 4 first. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times I is 2i. All right, then we're going to move to I. I times 4, 4i. I times I is I squared. All right, again, add your like terms in the middle. 8 plus 6i. We said I squared turns into a negative 1. Very good. So this turns into 6i plus 7, or 7 plus 6i. Either way. Doesn't matter. Okay? 8. Same thing. Same process. We should end up with 16. 16 minus 9i squared. And that turns into 16 plus 9, which is 25. Okay? Number 9. All right, what's that going to be? 15 minus 20i minus 6i plus 8i squared. So what do we get here? 15 minus 26i minus 8. 15 minus 8 is 7, so negative 26i plus 7. Or 7 minus 26i, either way. Either way would work. Okay, last one, 10. All right, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times negative I is negative 2i. I times 4 is positive 4i. I times negative I is negative I squared. Plus 10i on the end. All right, again, like terms. Negative 2i, 4i, 10i. That's going to give me a total 8 plus 12i. Okay, your negative I squared, it's like negative I squared turned into a negative 1. So that's just like saying 8 plus 1. Right? There's two negatives turn into a plus. So you get 12i plus 9. Right here, number 11. Okay, this section right here talks about square root solving. So x squared equals negative 25. If I take the square root of both sides, that's your first step. Okay, you can't take the square root of a negative. So anytime it's a negative square root, the I comes out. That's where the I comes from. And then the square root of 25 is just positive or negative 5. So the answer is positive or negative 5i. That's it. That's all you got to know how to do. 12. 12 says x squared plus 10 equals negative 26. Okay? I've got to subtract 10 from both sides. So you get x squared equals negative 36. And now this turns into 1 just like number 11. You got to square root both sides. You can't take the square root of a negative, so an I comes out. And the square root of 36 is positive or negative 6. That one's done. Okay? 13. 13 says x plus 3 squared equals negative 81. Okay, so treat this parentheses like one whole thing that's squared. So we're going to take the square root of the whole thing to just get x plus 3 left. And when we take the square root of negative 81, what does that give us? An I for the negative part? Yeah, positive or negative 9i. Okay, so to solve for x, there's just one more step on this one. And it's subtracting everything by 3. So minus 3. So your answer is x equals positive or negative 9i minus 3. That's it. That's your answer. Okay? Let's look at 14. All right, going through. 14 says 2x squared plus 7 equals negative 11. All right, what do y'all think I ought to do first? Subtract 7. So that gives me 2x squared equals negative 18. All right, I want to get an x squared by itself before I take the square root. So what do I need to do? Divide by 2. So this has a little bit of an extra step. X squared equals negative 9. Now it turns into 1 just like we did in 11. Square root both sides. So what is it? 3i, yes, correct. Positive or negative 3i. Okay, last one, 15. Okay, I may have to go back. That's okay, I'll go back in a second. 15 says 5x squared minus 3 equals negative 48. All right, first step is going to be to add the 3 over. All right, you get 5x squared equals negative 45. What do y'all think here? We're going to divide by 5. Very good. X squared equals negative 9. All right, so this was going to be the same exact answer as the previous one. You take the square root. X equals positive or negative 3i because of the negative square root part. All right, 16 says complete the square. So complete the square, x squared plus 10x plus blank. Okay. So in order to complete the square, you take half of b, half of whatever 10 is. What's 10 divided by 2? 5. And then we take 5 times 5, or 5 squared, which is 25. So 25 goes there. So that's all you had to do on number 16. And 17 was the same way. Okay, so let's look at 17. X squared plus 8x plus our blank equals 0 plus the blank again. So remember, when you add something in, you got to add it on both sides. All right, so what's this got to be? 8 divided by 2 is 4. We got 4 squared is 16. All right, so that's all that one was asking you to do, was completing the square. Okay, 18. 18 is going to ask you to solve this thing out. And really, it goes into ones just like what we just did. All right, so I'll show you what I mean by that. X squared plus 2x, all right, equals 15. So you see how I left the blanks out on purpose? All right, I kind of wrote it with a blank. We're going to put that blank in there. All right, so half of 2. What's half of 2? 1. What's 1 squared? 1. So the 1 goes on each side. So this problem turns into, all right, I factor this part. That part factors to be x plus 1 squared equals 15 plus 1 is 16. Now, did we not just do problems that look like just like that? Yeah. All right, what did we do? Didn't we take the square root of both sides? Yeah. That left us with x plus 1 equals positive or negative 4. And then what do you do? Minus 1. So you get x equals positive negative 4 minus 1. You could have positive 4 minus 1. You could have negative 4 minus 1. So 1's 3, 1's negative 5. That's it. Okay, 19. Let's look at 19. 2x squared plus 8x blank equals 20. All right, what could I do right away? Aren't all these divisible by 2? Let's do that. So let's divide all of it by 2 to make it a little simpler. Okay? Now I got to take half of this. 2 squared is 4. So we add in a 4. 4 and 4. Okay? This factors to be x plus 2 squared equals 14. Now what? Square root. So x plus 2. Positive, negative, square root of 14. Subtract the 2 over at the end. So minus 2. Very good. Okay? So we're going to go on to 20. So number 20 has got a little bit more. It's really only got one more step involved. X squared plus 4x minus 10 equals 0. So if I'm going to put this one in the same form as what the other ones were, I need this to be a blank, right? So to do that, I'm just going to move it over. To the right, good. It becomes positive. All right. Now, isn't this the same exact problem as what we just did? All right. So it's the same answer, guys. You don't have to work it out again. Okay, that would be a 4 and a 4, x plus 2 squared. All right, equals 14. Blah, blah, blah. X equals positive or negative square root of 14 minus 2. Okay? You don't have to work that one out again. All right, there are two more, the division of complex numbers. All right, and I actually numbered them wrong again. I put 19 and 20. All right, 9 plus 2i all over 1 minus 4i. All right, so when you divide complex numbers, you can't have an I in the bottom. So what you got to do is you got to multiply by the opposite I. So 1 plus 4i. 1 plus 4i. Okay? This turns into some of these problems like we did earlier. All right, so let's do just the top first. All right, 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 4i is 36i. 2i times 1 is plus 2i. 2i times 4i is plus 8i squared. Good. All right, this on bottom. All right, you got 1 plus 4i minus 4i minus 16i squared. Okay. What does that go to? 9 plus 38i. Minus 8. All right. And then on the bottom, these cancel. 1. This turns into plus 16. Right? 16 times negative 1 is a positive 16. So this turns into what? 9 minus 8 is 1. So 38i plus 1 over 17. Okay? And we got one more. 20. So number 20, remember you got to multiply by the opposite of the I in the bottom. So it's called the conjugate. All right. So we're going to multiply by 2 minus 5i. 2 minus 5i. What does that give us? 4i times 2 is negative 20i squared. Okay. On the bottom, it's going to end up being 4 minus 10i plus 10i. I'm not even going to write that because I don't want to waste time there. Minus 25i squared because the stuff on the bottom cancels. All right, so let's see. Negative 15i and 8i. 6 minus 7i. Negative 20i squared turns into plus 20. On the bottom, this turns into 4 plus 25. Right? Right. So this is negative 7i plus 26 over 29. And that's it.